Welcome to Spotlight Chronicles.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving deep into the journey of Jodie Foster. I mean, what a career, right? Started super early, still captivating us now.
Absolutely. And we've got this piece from biography.com, freshly updated after her Golden Globe win just this year.
Right. So our mission today is really to unpack that remarkable story, from being that child star everyone knew, right through to the Oscar wins, directing the whole sweep.
Exactly. We'll hit the key moments, definitely the ones that shape her path, and maybe some connections people don't realize, and why this latest award feels so significant.
Yeah, and you mentioned before, sometimes you just want to get the essence of someone like Foster without getting totally swamped in details.
That's the plan. This deep dive should give you just that.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. Alicia Christian Foster, born in L.A., November 19, 1962, youngest of 4 kids.
And everyone knew her as Jodie.
Right. And the acting thing. It started so young, like 3 years old, the Coppertone girl.
Yeah, that Coppertone ad. It's wild to think about, straight into commercials.
And apparently she was incredibly bright even then. Talking at 9 months, reading by 3.
That's what the biography says. Really precocious, which, probably helped a lot.
You'd think so. And interestingly, no acting classes, ever.
Seems like it was just innate talent, which is pretty rare.
Her first TV show was Mayberry RFD back in '68, so she was about 6.
Yeah, a busy kid actor from the get-go. And her mom, Brandy, was her manager.
That mom-manager dynamic.
Yeah.
It could be tricky in Hollywood. What was it like for them?
Well, the bio suggests it was actually quite positive. Jodie apparently treasures her mom's impact, saw her as strong, self-educated, but not, pushy.
Right.
Brandy would supposedly stay in the trailer while Jodie worked. So supportive, maybe, rather than stage mothery.
That sounds healthier, yeah.
Yeah.
And then came the Disney films.
Right. Napoleon and Samantha in 72, One Little Indian in 73, kind of cemented her as a child star.
And she was doing all this while going to the Lycée Français de Los Angeles and becoming fluent in French.
Seriously impressive, juggling high-level academics with a full-on acting career.
It really speaks to her drive, doesn't it? Even that young.
Definitely. It shows this kind of dual capacity, maybe, both artistic and intellectual, and that thread seems to run through her whole life.
So then, 1976.
Taxi Driver.
Ah, yes. The big one. She was only 12.
Playing Iris, the child prostitute. I mean, Martin Scorsese, 1970s New York. It was intense.
Incredibly intense. And a very, very dark role for someone so young.
But she got huge praise for it. Roger Ebert's famous line, chillingly cast.
The film itself obviously became a landmark. It's in the National Film Registry now.
Right, since 94. And she got her first Oscar nomination for it at 14.
Didn't win that one. Beatrice Straight won for Network. But yeah, 14, that just launched her into a different stratosphere.
Teenage star, basically.
Right.
Which led to Freaky Friday, Fox's.
Right. It's interesting, though, how a role that could have been, problematic for a young actor actually became this major stepping stone. It says a lot about her talent, maybe her support system, too. But it does make you think about the pressure on young actors in those kinds of roles.
For sure. And maybe that pressure contributed to her next move. She went off to Yale after high school.
Seeking some anonymity, perhaps. She focused on writing and literature, even took high-level French classes.
Yeah, it seemed like a conscious choice to step back, engage intellectually, maybe find some privacy. Yale's known for its writing program.
But that quest for a quieter life, it got horribly disrupted, didn't it?
Yeah. 1981, the Reagan assassination attempt, John Hinckley Jr.
It's still shocking.
Yeah.
Hinckley saying he did it to impress Foster. He'd become obsessed.
Just sending letters, making calls. I mean, can you imagine, as a college student, just trying to live your life?
Must have been absolutely terrifying. Invasive.
Deeply disturbing. The bio mentions she testified at his trial, and it really shook her, understandably.
Yet she returned to acting pretty soon after in a film called Svengali.
Shows incredible resilience, doesn't it? To go through that trauma and still get back to her work.
Definitely. So she graduates from Yale in '85, literature degree, and then pivots to more mature roles.
And this is where things really shift again. 1988, The Accused.
Playing Sarah Tobias, the sexual assault survivor. Such a powerful, acclaimed role.
Absolutely pivotal. It completely redefined her image, showcased this incredible depth.
And boom, first Oscar.
Yeah.
Best actress.
Yeah.
Plus a Golden Globe at 26.
Yeah, firmly established her as a major dramatic actress, no longer just the former child star.
And then just 3 years later, 1991, another huge one.
The Silence of the Lambs?
Clarice Starling,
Ah.
opposite Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. That film was everywhere.
Oh, huge. Critically, commercially, it just hit the zeitgeist.
And swept the Oscars Best Picture. Hopkins, Foster, her second Best Actress Oscar, and another Golden Globe.
The chemistry between her and Hopkins was just electric. Clarice is still probably her most iconic role for many people.
But interestingly, when sequels and spin-offs happened, she didn't come back.
Nope. Julianne Moore took over as Clarice later, which, suggests Foster wasn't interested in being tied down to one role, maybe. Artistic independence.
Makes sense. And around this time, she also started moving behind the camera.
Yeah, directing. She apparently found it more energizing than acting.
Her first film as director was Little Man Tate, also in '91.
And it got good reviews. Pretty impressive debut.
She followed that up over the years with Home for the Holidays, The Beaver, which she also starred in.
And Money Monster, more recently.
Plus, she's directed a lot of high-profile TV, Orange is the New Black,
Got an Emmy nomination for that one.
House of Cards, Black Mirror. She's clearly comfortable on both sides of the camera.
It really highlights her range, actor, director, involved in storytelling in all these different ways.
And she actually said, acting, for me, is exhausting. I'm always so energized by directing.
That really sums it up, doesn't it? That shift in creative energy.
But she didn't stop acting entirely, of course. She kept taking interesting roles.
A real mix, too. Big films like Nell got nominations for that, and she produced it.
Maverick, Contact, Panic Room, those were pretty big hits.
But also indie stuff like The Dangerous Lives of Altar Boys, which she also produced. And even a French film, A Very Long Engagement.
She worked with Polanski in Carnage, starred in Elysium, but it does feel like she became more selective, especially in recent years.
Well, after a career like hers, you earn that selectivity, right? Choose projects that really speak to you.
Then in 2013, she got the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the Golden Globes. Lifetime achievement, basically.
And that acceptance speech was quite something.
Yeah, that's when she publicly acknowledged being gay, thanked her former partner, Sidney Bernard.
Yeah.
It felt like a very significant personal moment.
Very powerful, very authentic, and the accolades kept coming. 2021, another Golden Globe, supporting actress for The Mauritanian.
The third one, and then just last year playing Bonnie Stoll in Nigh Nod.
Which got her another Oscar nomination for supporting actress and her 10th Golden Globe nod. It's just sustained excellence.
Which brings us right up to date almost. True Detective, Night Country.
Season 4, her first big TV acting role in ages.
And it was really well received, playing Detective Liz Danvers.
Yeah, and the creator, Issa Lopez, actually mentions Silence of the Lambs, Foster's performance there, as an influence. Kind of cool, that full circle thing.
Her past work still echoing. And Foster herself said working on True Detective felt really special.
You could see it, and it paid off. She won the Golden Globe for it just recently. Best Actress in a Limited Series.
That's her 5th Golden Globe. Quite the collection.
In her speech, she thanked the cast, crew, the indigenous communities in Alaska whose stories were part of the show, dedicated it to her sons.
And she won the Emmy for it, too. Outstanding lead actress, plus another nomination.
Just incredible. Shows she can still absolutely command the screen, find these compelling new roles after decades in the business.
And apparently she's not slowing down, planning to do a small French film soon.
Yeah, scheduled for September 2024, reportedly. Still seeking out diverse projects.
Shifting to her personal life a bit, though she keeps it very private. Yeah. She married Alexander Hedison back in 2014.
That's right, the photographer and actor. And they are definitely low-key about their relationship.
Which seems very in character, given her history.
Yeah.
She also has 2 sons, Charles and Kit, born in '98 and 2001.
Conceived via IVF, and she's never revealed the father's identity. Very protective of their privacy.
Understandable, especially after that intense scrutiny early on. She really seems to have managed fame on her own terms.
It seems that way. And she's had some interesting things to say about it all.
Like that quote about child actors. I don't know why people think child actresses in particular are screwed up. I see kids everywhere who are totally bored. I've never been bored a day in my life.
Yeah, it pushes back against the stereotype, doesn't it? Offers her own perspective. And then the quote about directing being energizing.
While acting is exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 2 quotes kind of capture her journey, her mindset.
They really do offer a glimpse into how she views her work and her life.
So, when you look at it all, Jodie Foster's story, it's definitely not your standard Hollywood narrative, is it?
Not at all. Navigating child stardom, that awful Hinckley incident, reaching the absolute peak as an actor, then finding this whole other creative life in directing. It's unique.
And you have to wonder how those early, intense experiences shaped her need for privacy, maybe even the depth she brings to roles.
It seems likely they played a significant part. And if you think about the bigger picture, Hollywood, roles for women. Her career is this fascinating example of longevity, artistic evolution, and just maintaining integrity.
Which leaves us with something to think about, maybe, for anyone listening.
Yeah, how do those really unique pressures and opportunities that child stars face, how do you think that stuff influences where they end up, both professionally and personally?
It's a really interesting question, something to mull over. Thanks for diving deep into Jodie Foster's incredible career with us.
My pleasure. It was fascinating to revisit.
See you next time on Spotlight Chronicles.